everybody. Welcome to Setta's Place. As you can see from the title, this episode is called What Had Happened Was. And it's about Star Trek. Don't change the channel, y'all. Don't change the channel. There's going to be plenty of yarn talk in this episode. It just happens to be related to Star Trek. So for you Trekkies, I know you're just ready to roll. For y'all non-Trekkies, there's plenty of yarn, so hold on. But what had happened was, back in the summer, I found this awesome podcaster, YouTuber who did all kinds of character, but no matter who it was, it's different genres, is that the right word? Whether it was fantasy or superheroes or old movies, anything. It was a themed person who'd crocheted like Afghans, and so she'd take a picture and make it using crochet and yarn and make it a blanket or a pillow, whatever, and it looked just like the picture. I was amazed. How I found this person was from Lacey from Hooked on Owls. I was watching her episode one time, and she came up with something. I was like, oh, I've got to have it. So I went to that. She told who it was. I went to that person's website. I went to her YouTube channel. And the name of the YouTube channel is Totally.net. Totally.net. And she was doing Star Trek themed pillows or blankets. And they were awesome. And it was on her website for free. The patterns were free. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's a lot of work. And I thought that was just awesome that she was, she was sharing this with us. So I had a plan. Of course I subscribed and I was like, okay. So at the time I didn't have a printer. So I wanted to print off the pattern, and but some time went by, and later on, when I moved, my sister gave me a printer as a late birthday present, and I was like, yes. So I got the printer set up, but when you first get the printer, they have the ink in it that's just like a little bit of ink. It's not a whole cartridge. So when I got the time to sit down and pull up the patterns I was going to print off. Now, the patterns were like 18 pages long and stuff like that, because it's like line by line. She actually shows you every last step, which was awesome. And so, by the time I got ready to print, because I did some printing and some other stuff. But anyway, I sat down. I was going to print off two patterns, Star Trek themed. One was Spock, and one was the captain, Captain Kirk. So I went to start printing, and the ink was almost out. I was like, what? So I got like 3 or 4 pages. No, I got one complete page, and then the other page was so faded you couldn't even read it. The first, 2 or 3 pages. I was like, oh man, so I'm going to have to get some ink. So life happened. It was working. It was hard trying to get ink, and I kept forgetting to pick up some ink so I could print off the things. So what I did was like, well, I'll screenshot the first few pages so I can at least get started whenever I'm ready. Then I'll go back and print it later. So, but here is the first page. This is her website. So, so this came out, the rest didn't. And so I had like maybe 3 or 4 screenshots of the first few rows. And I was like, okay, well, that'll get me started until I get me some ink, and I'll print off the rest. And so for Spock, this is what it looks like. Isn't that awesome, y'all? Look. Look, you see my little thing over here? Spock, right here. It's hard to get. You see my Star Trek corner, y'all? From Z and Lisa from Happy to Hook. They both gave me a calendar. I got some Star Trek things here. See my trebles? Trouble with tribbles? With tribbles? I said trebles. I'm doing crochet. But anyway, I digress. So, that was my plan. I was going to do this one. And I was going to surprise my son, because he's a Trekkie too. And, you know, because it's all single crochets. And I knew it was going to take me a long time to do it, but I was going to take my time. I gathered up my blue yarn, every blue yarn I had, and I put it in here, my Star Trek bag. So there's bunches of blue yarn and black and blues in here. And I marked a chart and everything. So, what had happened was, the beginning of this year, I said, okay, Setta, you're going to take your time. You're not going to rush. You're not going to stress. You're going to make this. You're going to enjoy every step, even though it's single crochets. You're going to take your time. Even if it takes you a whole year to make it, it doesn't matter. Just enjoy. So, at the beginning of the year, I said, okay. So, I'm getting myself ready. I got the bag ready. I was going to make an episode and show y'all and tell y'all about it. And Lee, she like I said, she's a YouTube channel. So I went to, I'm subscribed to her, of course. So her thing came up, and I was watching some of them, the past ones, because I missed a lot of a lot of people. So I had to go back and watch. So I was just watching. And I got to one of her videos. And she's like, I gotta tell y'all something. And I was like, but what? What happened? What's going on? And I totally understand, and I do not blame her one bit. But she's tired. She's so tired. She's been doing those Graphgans for 10 years, and there's a lot of work and a lot going on with it. And so she has decided no longer to do those for, I mean, she might do some for herself. She's doing it for herself just as pleasure, but it's too much going on and stress and whatever to put it out and to do the patterns and have it on her website. And I was like, oh no. And then she's like, I took down all the patterns. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, no. I sounded like like in Star Trek when Captain Kirk hollered Khan. Y'all Trekkies know what I'm talking about. And when he was mad at Khan, and he said, Khan. I was like, no. And I was like, oh. And then she's like, you know, I just can't do it. And I totally understood. I totally understand. It's not, I understand. But my Trekkie heart has done, just fell up under the floor, and it's down buried. Because I was planning on making me something beautiful. And she said, you know, if you started it and you were in the middle of it, that you could contact her and she would help you with the rest. You know, she would help you with the rest. But if you hadn't started it at all, that she just couldn't go there. I understand. I totally understand. And I was like, oh, look, y'all, I got every color of blue. And here's my black. No, this is the really dark blue. And I got this blue. And I got this blue. And this one. And look, I was ready. I was ready. And so I was like, well, what am I going to do? I had so many plans. I had so many plans for Spock and Captain Kirk. And so what I thought, I said, well, I know what I can do. Because remember I told y'all, Lacey from Hooked on Owls, that's where I first saw it. Because she was making it, the Spock one. And here is, I took a screenshot of Lacey when she showed hers. And this is what hers looks like so far. She's not finished. At that point, she wasn't finished. So this is what hers looks like. Isn't that awesome? Look how big that is. So, I was thinking, I was like, maybe I can contact Lacey and get a copy of the pattern. Whether she printed it out or if she has it, you know, on her computer, maybe she would share it with me. Because I'm going to be like, please, Lacey, please. So that is what happened. I had planned, y'all. I was going to Star Trek it up. And but I definitely do not blame Lee at all, because this is a lot of work, and all her patterns were free, every last one of them, and she had tons of them. And she had took the time to you know, have it done, and then she had some tutorials on it, and I understood exactly what she was saying, but I sure was disappointed. But I'm hoping that Lacey from Hooked on Owls, I'm sure she still has her pattern because she was, you know, almost finished. So I'm going to email Lacey and see if she will share it with me. And while I'm talking about Lacey, I wanted to give her a big thank you because she shared with me as a gift her new pattern for her Sanoa. You know, I can't pronounce stuff right. I'm sorry, Lacey. I'll write it across the screen. Shawl pattern. Because she was thanking me for asking her to be a part of my Traveling Infinity scarf. And I was just like, awesome that she wanted to be a part of my scarf. So she thanked me for that. And I can't wait to make that. I've been looking at what yarns I'm going to use. And but that's another story. But anyway, so Lacey, I'm going to be hollering at you. And I hope she still has her pattern. And if she does, I will let y'all know when I get started on this. This is going to, if I get to do it, it's going to take, I'm taking my time. I'm going, if it takes a whole year, it's going to take a whole year. I want to enjoy the process because I love my Star Trek. And I want it to come out, you know, right. So, so I'm hoping that she has, like I said, that pattern, and hopefully maybe she has Captain Kirk's printed out too. That would be awesome. But anyway, so that is what had happened. But y'all know I'm crazy. But I just wanted to share that with y'all. See, I told y'all, your Star Trek people, there's lots of yarn involved in crochet talk. It just happens to be about the cool, you know, ness of Star Trek. And this, in case for anyone who doesn't know, this is my Star Trek themed shawl that I made. And I entered it into a crochet along, a nerd along, which was hosted by Lacey, Hooked on Owls. And I won. And I got lots of good stuff. That yarn right there, that was one of my prizes. Sorry, yeah, right there. And another one of her patterns. And I'm going to work on that too. I already have the yarn picked out for that. But anyway, so this is my Star Trek themed shawl that I made. And this pattern is Falling Ivy and Hannah the Cozy Cottage. That's her patterns. And this black and sparkly is the space. The gold is the captain's colors. The blue is, as you know, I just showed you with Spock, you know, the second in command. Red is like the Scotty and the rest of the crew, you know, wears that. And I mean, they wear different colors, but that's the main thing. And then the gray is the color of the Enterprise. represents that. But here's the captain's color here. But anyway, so that is, I still need to block this. I haven't had time to do any block because it's a stiff material and I want it to soften up a little bit more. But anyway, so that is what this episode is about. I called it What Had Happened Was because, man. So I'm planning on doing a little series of What Had Happened Was. So when you see that, come and join me to find out what in the world went on. And just little funny stories of things that happened, or I don't know. I'm just trying to do, you know, some funny things because one of my subscribers had suggested What Had Happened Was as a title for Sitting with Setta. But I didn't use it for that. I'm using it for this. So this is what a little series is going to be called. So y'all join me if you want to see what in the world had happened. All right. I'll talk to you all later and have a blessed day.